Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is class is on Tuesday, February the 16th, and we're going to warm up with our stating restrictions question. So these questions here are rational expressions, and that's for our lesson for us today. We have these three. Hope you're copying them down. People out in class or maybe at home, if you need to pause the video or zoom in or pinch in, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this video will either be uploaded to our Zoom Brightspace page and or my YouTube page if I can get it to work. And then we'll transfer it there. So the first question is x plus 4 divided by x minus 3 times x plus 2. But all we're going to do is state restrictions. We're not going to do any simplifying because this is the big idea for this whole unit of rational expressions. So feel free to pause or ask me questions, people in class. Obviously, people at home, you can't interact with me. This is obviously being recorded. Anyways, I'll do these three if that's okay, and then we'll see if there's any questions. The first one, I think a lot of you know, we don't like dividing by 0. That's the big idea for stating restrictions. Again, you've never really done it before, but notice that x minus 3, x plus 2, it's in factor form, right, of a quadratic root. Now, you don't have to worry too much about that. Basically, we're trying to look up values that will cause this to actually go to 0. And so a lot of you already know the restrictions are, if you take this x minus 3, just make it not equal to 0. Right? And then solve this. Now, this one tends to be really easy. And I think people in class realize that's the first restriction. X cannot equal to 3. If x was ever 3, you would get 0. Can someone help me in the class? What would this one be?
-2.
-2. Everyone okay? Pretty easy. Any questions? That is why factoring was so important. That's why we were trying to reinforce that. And some of you already noticed in question C is a little difficult. Question B though. Any volunteer want to try to give us the answer? And take your time. We'll just go easily. I just want to hear you. And that's how you want to try?
Do I give you both of them?
Sure.
0 and -3 for sure.
Nicely done. X can equal 0. We'll just go slow for some people. Is that okay? And that's for this variable. Everyone see that, ladies and gentlemen? This 2x plus 3, again, some students might need to see it. This one's a little trickier, right? So 2x plus 3 not equal to 0. Notice a lot of you remember how to solve linear equations. Subtract 3 to both sides. Divide by 2. This is why we like exact answers. That's why we like fraction answers. That's why they're necessary. -3 over 2. So the two restrictions are these two. So far, so good? Any questions so far? Last question. 4a plus b over x squared minus 5x plus 6. We have not seen this one yet, but I think some of you know what we're going to do. And so, to lead into our real lesson for rational expression, for simplifying for today, I wanted to show you 3 tips of how to actually simplify these rational expressions. And here they are. To simplify, there's 3 fundamental rules. First one, factor everything. Notice. That means the numerator, that means the denominator, anywhere you see it. Now technically, there's also a reducing. If you can reduce initially, that's great. But I think everyone understands that because you were taught fractions. Step 2 is what we've been doing. State restrictions. And then 3, simplify. Which we'll obviously do in a moment. Now this one you can't simplify, but that's why a lot of you know from warm-up that we're doing. We're trying to state restrictions. So we have 4a plus b over x squared minus 5x plus 6. So 4a plus b, just to take an intermediate step, can I get a volunteer to try to factor that denominator? I made it really easy. Omar?
X minus 3 and then x minus 2.
Nicely done. Before we continue, everyone okay? Anyone have a question about it? Am I going too fast? Any questions at all? This is why, again, we practiced last week, all that factoring. And again, if you're still kind of fuzzy, it's okay, right? So just ask me, figure things out. If you want to just figure how maybe Omar did it, really, really quickly, think of the ones. If you want to do the crisscross method, think of 6, 3, and 2. So I'm trying to show you this way. Right? You're trying to get -5, that b term. You want to be negative, 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 negative. 1 minus 3, x minus 3, 1 minus 2, x minus 2. I like this crisscross method. You don't have to do it. You can factor any way you want, like I said in class. But now that Omar's done the hard stuff, step 2, different volunteer, perhaps a young lady might help us out. What are the restrictions? Nora?
3 and 2.
Nicely done. X cannot equal 3 or 2. And that's how you say it, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Any questions right now before I pause the video? Any questions at all? I'll leave that on the chalkboard still. And if you're watching at home, hopefully you can all see that. I don't care. I'm just kidding. I do care, but